Good morning, everybody. This is Kuan, one of the panelists from the Talk That Talk um, podcast show that you can see us every other Wednesday, 7:30 on the Passion Is Network. So, being that I'm a band director in the city of Houston, I feel like it's only my right and duty to address some of the things that's going on. So, first of all, let me be clear. This is not and has never been a bash to Mass Band, All-Star Band. For those that seen the show last summer, I was working with the All-Star Band last year. I had my ups and downs about it. I had my disagreements about it. I had my agreements about it. I've learned a lot. Was able to sit under the direction of Prof. Hamer and his greatness. Learn from Brian Simmons, Texas Southern Director of Bands, Dr. Pollard, and so forth, and a plethora of other people that I think are great band directors and colleagues. So that's number one. So this is not a bash to none of that, but it's certain things that I must address. So first of all, I do and have been invited and asked to participate in the newly established All-Star Band, which is called Space City. I know people and the organizers from there, as well as I know the people that's participating in the more established one for Greater Houston All-Star. Now, am I advertising for both of them? Nah. But I wish them both well. And even from the aspect when it comes to HUMB with Alex. When it comes to the realities, and this is no disrespect to them, but being in this particular seat, there's certain things that are happening with education, music education in the state of Texas that is beyond what we see and beyond what's going on in the summertime. So number one, let me address some things. Luke kind of touched on it, but I'll go a little more deeper with it. We are governed by UIL. Because we're governed by UIL, our certification is tied to certain things that we can and cannot do. This state, and everybody know that Texas act like it's its own country, first of all. So we just do things different here in the state of Texas. Houston being the largest school district in the state, there's certain things that we have to abide by that others don't. We're going from a decentralized district to a centralized district. For those that don't know that is, initially people could honestly operate and move and shake how they wanted to, where the principal was judge, jury, and executioner of how that band program ran. Well, now we have a fine arts director where we're going to be more centralized and more uniform. So that is a change. But most importantly, there was a bill passed, if not last week, the week before last, by the governor, that we're going in the direction of what's called merit pay. So for those that do not know, merit pay is you are paid, your salary is paid according to your evaluation scores. Now, that's kind of different for fine arts teachers, specifically band directors, right? So how do you evaluate a band director? By UIL. So just know it's happened before. When your scores are low, when you get them 3s and 4s according to UIL, guess what happened? You get fired. But what happens now is you can go from making $98,000 one year to making $68,000 the next year according to your evaluation. So when it comes to the specificity of how you want your band to be ran, let's be real. Not all band programs teach bad habits, but bad habits have been taught in All-Star Band. I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone, but that's just the reality of it, right? So I have to be cognizant of where I send my students to. That's number one. Number two, because of this merit pay, I have to be more mindful, real talk, about the camps that they go to. And this is also tied to a degree with some of my funding that I may get for next year. I know y'all don't know that though. So I'm just trying to keep you informed. Now, number three, do I believe that they should have 2 programs? Yes, I do. I believe they should have 2 programs, one being a high school program and one being a program for alumni. The reason why I say this, and I'm gonna just be quite frank, this is uncut. In the past, I know that everybody wants to see HUMB back. I remember when HUMB used to battle New Orleans All-Star Band, when Brian Simmons was over New Orleans All-Star Band, and even when I believe Kenneth was over All-Star Band. That was like the glory days of HUMB. Now, let's be honest. HUMB started because Greater Houston All-Star and HUMB had merged together. So that happened. And yeah, that was great. That was good for the city of Houston and for the city of New Orleans during those times. The only thing I disagree with is they shouldn't have had it in that hot gym that year. But that was great times for band, right? Now, let's be clear. There were certain things that took place that should not have happened. There was at times where you had students that were riding with older alumnus and things happened. How do I know? Those band directors told me. And when I became a band director in Houston, that was the first thing that they said. Be mindful of where you send your kids with the older students. Now, all what we see, such as we had an incident where a gentleman was grooming his students, those things happen. And then the reality of it, even though if we advertise these things in summer, and if something happens and we are aware of it, it is our duty as a teacher to report it, no matter what time of the year or quote unquote season it is. If we don't, and it is found out that we knew, we will lose our certification permanently. So some of these things are bigger than just, oh, this the culture of mass band. Oh, he hating on this person. No, I have to be cognizant of the safety of my kids. And let me be clear. If I sent my kids off to, other band camp and something took place, it's the same thing. It's the same duty. It's the same right that I have to report these things. So let's not make it seem like these things have not happened. Let's not make it seem like there wasn't smoking going on at All-Star practice, like it wasn't drinking in the parking lot, like it wasn't grown folk stuff that was happening at what's supposed to be band camp. I mean, not band camp, but like band clinic and a fun time for these kids. Like, if we're gonna do it, well, let's do it the right way. Have them high schoolers, because we always say, well, a child should be in the child place. Yeah, I agree with that. But when you put them in adult situations, you're responsible for it. You dig what I'm saying? So like, we got to do better with that. And then lastly, my thing is this: if the people that are screaming about, mass ban and all of these things, why don't you, I've said this for years, why don't you come to them schools and be like, hey, let me work with your tubers 3 times a month, 2 times a month. And then for that, if I'm looking at your style of teaching, if I'm looking at your pedagogy and I align with that, guess what? Go ahead with Prof. Blase, blase, blah. He been teaching you all year. Go ahead with that All-Star band. Go ahead with that group. Go ahead with that particular ensemble. And then it's easy. But the problem is, some of y'all, honestly, y'all want the relationship without responsibility, and that's not what's up. Y'all want to have a fantasy draft of band programs without putting in the work, what we do all year round. But let me say this. I do have something that's planned, because I'm not a person that I'm just going to talk about it, but I really live like that. So in about 2 weeks, we'll have an announcement on how we're going to bring all this together. But it's for a purpose and it's for a cause. So again, if you want to hear this news, make sure you tune in every other Wednesday, 7:30 on the Passion Is Network. It's your boy Kuan signing out.